Well, I'm ending up putting this one out right as 10.5 is rolling out, so great timing there. 10.4 has definitely been very, very interesting. Let's go with that. There have been some improvements, and as you will see, there are a lot of new problems or regressions on old problems. And some of those new problems are actively impeding my ability to record, as you will see. As we all know, programming is usually a 2 steps forward, 1 step backward sort of thing. This update may have been the reverse, but that'll happen every now and then. Certainly makes for an interesting video. I haven't tallied up all the issues yet, but we will see what it looks like at the end of the video and how it compares to 10.3.
Right at the start, and it abandoned it.
So here are the release notes. So this is what we'll hopefully see in our drive. The first one is interesting because last test route we were having trouble with the navigation updating too slow, and it was putting us in some precarious situations. Well, this first note sounds like it may help with that, so we'll see if that improves. Then there's improvements to crossing high-speed cross traffic, improved speed through narrow spaces, which may mean faster or slower depending on the situation, improved static obstacle control, so it should hopefully hit less stuff. That would be good. Improved VRU detection, that's vulnerable road users, so definitely don't want to hit people. Improved emergency vehicle detection. This next one sounds like it's saying that it's not going to pay attention to, say, people crossing the street in front of it if it's planning to turn to the side and not go through the area that they're crossing in. And word has it that the next public update, not FSD update, will have waypoints in it. Hallelujah! Without further ado, let's get rolling.
Alright, so we finally got 10.4, and we are going to go do our test route in Olympia soon as we get out of Elma and to Olympia, that is. But that's part of the fun. So first test, still stopping too far back at this stop sign, which is unfortunate. Oh, interesting. So every other time before now, when I didn't have a destination in the navigation, which I'm doing on purpose. What's that about? I have no idea. So every other time when there hasn't been a destination entered, it took a right at that turn. And now it's taking a left. So I wouldn't say there's really been improvement on staying away from the curbs there. I can't, it's hard to say for sure, but I think it's about the same. So the reason I haven't put a destination in the nav yet is because I want to test how fast it updates when we put a destination in like we did last time. Navigate to Olympia. Navigate to Olympia. Oh, okay. So it does seem to have updated quite a lot faster this time, which is something that was in the update notes. And so we'll see again if it updates faster here, which hopefully it will still not turn into... Okay. Ultimately decided not to, that's good. So we're having a new and peculiar issue here. As you can see on the nav, we are like off the map in my home area, which has never happened before. We're just like driving way off the road in the middle. It has no idea where we are. And when I just told it to go to Olympia like I normally do. Very bizarre. I don't know what that's about. So now it's putting on the blinker after we passed that road where it turned off to the right, which was a driveway. So it should be turning left here, and it is. It looks like we're close to being back on the navigation path now. Creeping. It's clear in both directions. Easy visibility both directions. It's never creeped on this turn before, and does not need to. And we're pretty much on the road now. Here we've got the construction. It's a little bit different now. And it's trying to go into it where it normally bypasses it. So that's a regression. And have we updated the nav faster? It doesn't look like it. It just barely decided to turn in time, which I guess is slightly faster than it did before, because the last time on our previous test, it basically decided to do the turn as it was passing that street.
Even though there was a gap to the side of the truck.
Okay, it's drifting into the middle of the road here again, which is something that it was doing in 10.3, or in 10.2, sorry. It did it even more than that, 10.2, and then it stopped doing it altogether in 10.3, which was great. And now it seems to have regressed a little bit on that. It drifts to the left there because there's a big wide parking area to the left that opens up. And so it thinks that the road is widening. For a very uncomfortably abrupt turn. And that time it was a lot better. But it still was planning to go straight until just a little bit before it got to that road. So I'd still like to see it update the path faster than that. So we were creeping there, there's nobody out here. Obviously safe to go. Didn't really have any thing obstructing visibility there, so there was no need to creep. So that's a minor issue. So we got the big puddles on the side of the road again, and whoa, interesting. So at first it was avoiding the puddles on the right, and then I don't know if something happened on the screen. You'd know better than I would, but maybe it saw something, but for some reason it darted to the right, just yanked the steering wheel that direction, going straight into the puddles. So it started off good, and then not so much. Just taking a right here. Obviously nobody out here. It's full visibility to both sides. Not really any need to creep here. So we're seeing quite a bit of unnecessary creeping so far. It did need to creep like a tiny bit to see to the left because there was a parked car, but like you could see behind the parked car that there was nobody coming, so okay, good job going around that parked car. Not spooked by that oncoming car in the other lane, even though this road is unlined, which it usually has a problem with. Gets spooked by cars in the other lane, but it didn't this time. So that's good. That may be an improvement. Taking a left here. It's totally clear both directions. Full visibility. Should just go right now. You can definitely see, but it's still creeping. And it's really doing a bad job on the turn path there. It just like turned 45 degrees, like it was just gonna do a straight line, and then it kind of turned back and did a curve. So a regression on the turn pathing. Instead. So a different navigation path. That's interesting. We slowed for that turn, which was unnecessary and not desirable. Like slowed too much, I mean. Like we were actually waiting there for something. So here, the lane is opening up, the turn lane right now. We should be turning into it. We're hesitating, but it did pretty much, it went after like a 1 second hesitation. Now it's stopping completely. So I'm pressing the accelerator. Definitely should not be stopping there. So we'll see, last time it was late to get into this turn lane, and it looks like it's going to be late again. Yep. So no improvement there. Still waiting until kind of the last second to get in there. And that was a pretty good turn. It was a little abrupt. I'm going to turn the brights off because being obnoxious to people. Nobody here. Still no turn signal. Still waiting until we're forced to merge. So no improvement there either. So now it says it's changing lanes. It says changing into faster lane. We're only going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit. We're doing 65. Really no reason to be getting in the left lane here. Unless maybe it was trying to go around that truck. I just got this message on the screen. Nothing's going on. It just popped up. Backup cameras. It's saying navigate on autopilot is unavailable. So this is what we can see on the cameras, which it seems to think are obstructed. They are not. It's just nighttime. So that's something new. And it's saying it again. One or more cameras occluded. I saw this on Dirty Tesla's video as well. It seems to just do it at nighttime now, which is a problem. I mean, it doesn't seem to impair the actual driving, but it's obnoxious. Alright, so we're passing under some lights here, street lights, and look, that warning went away. It's been on constantly while we've been in the dark area. And now that we've passed the street lights, bet you anything it'll be coming back on in a second. There it is. So yeah, that's the problem. So, if you remember, I keep getting this please pay attention to the road. I was going to say something else, but I think it's because I'm holding up my camera, and the camera in the car is seeing my phone, and it thinks that I'm looking at my phone, even though I'm holding my phone off to the right above my shoulder, where I can't even, it's not even in my eyesight. So that's kind of an edge case, I guess, inside the car. It's definitely going to be an annoyance for making these videos. But what I was going to say is that we are not getting this time the FSD degraded. So as you can see, there's nobody behind us in the rear view, but the cameras are seeing a lot better this time, it seems. I'm not sure, I'll have to look at the footage from before, but I don't think I think the side cameras and the rear camera were darker last time. Interesting. So it said navigate on autopilot was unavailable, but it still took the off-ramp that time. So here's the turn that it had trouble with before. Creeping, and it actually took the turn that time. Excellent. We do not have anyone coming from either direction. It's all clear. It says it's creeping, but it's not. We are not moving. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Welcome to all the nothing that is happening. Alright, so that's fail. I'm pressing the accelerator, and it still doesn't want to go. Pressing the accelerator again. So that's a big improvement. So we'll see if it tries to go into the left turn lane. And yes, it is, so I'm pulling it out there. No improvement on that. It's wanting to use the high beams again. But had to turn them off immediately, of course, as soon as we went around the bend, because there was somebody coming. Turned them on and off again there. So just up here is where we're going to need to get into. It's going to force us into the right lane. This lane is going to end. Got the high beams on again, which I'm going to turn off because there's somebody ahead of us. So right after this street, it's going to force us over. We should have already changed lanes by now, but it is, as usual, waiting until the lane ends. So I'm going to mark that. And now it was trying to come to a stop for this person, possibly because they were sticking their nose out into the lane just slightly. So I had to press the accelerator there. I apologize if the angle of the camera is off. I am afraid to glance at it because if I do, the nag monitor is going to think that I'm not paying attention again. And if it kicks me out of FSD a second time on the same drive, I'm going to lose access to the beta, even though I am paying attention. Okay, so it actually got into the left turn lane. Wasn't looking like a certainty there. It was hesitating, but it did end up doing it. We're going to need to get into the left turn lane right here. And it... Nope. So it put the blinker on and it started to go into the turn lane, and then it decided not to. Okay, let's see if it's going to wait for this. Okay, we are too close to the curb. Definitely, we got a huge gap here, so it better go. Press accelerator pedal to resume cruise control. I don't know. I guess it's not going to do it. Right after this, we're going to need to change to our next location. Taking this turn very, very slowly. We've got full visibility to the left, so it didn't need to creep that far. Navigate to Olympia, mark 1.5. Okay. So this stop was because we were at the end of our nav point. I'm just going to press the accelerator to just go into the next one here. Whoa, okay. 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 So the navigation had us going straight, and then right as we were passing that street, it decided to turn left. And it tried to do like a sudden 90-degree turn, and that my hand on the wheel kicked us out there. So this turn is too sharp. It was cutting the corner. No need for that. That's something that it was doing a lot in 10.2, but not in 10.3. And it's creeping. We have full visibility. We should be going now. It's definitely doing more creeping than necessary. Now we've got a dog and a person in front of us. It is coming to a stop. I'm gonna press the accelerator, and yeah, it was not gonna give him enough room there, so I'll have to do this turn. So a bit of a fail there. It should have just smoothly gone around those people, or that person and that dog. But instead it came to a stop and then was not going to give them enough room when I hit the accelerator to tell it to go. So we've got full visibility again. There's no reason for this creeping. It should only be creeping when it can't see, which is not the case on any of these turns. Left turn here. That was a great turn. More of that, please. So we're doing an unprotected left. We've got pretty good visibility. We can both see now, me and the car, but we're still creeping, and we are going. So that was pretty good. It could have gone a little bit sooner. Should have gone a little bit sooner, but that one was okay. No traffic, but you know. This is the time of day that I needed to go for, so. All right, so now we're coming up on this garden center. And as you can see, it is not on the map. So I am going to have to take over here. And I will turn into this, what is at the moment, basically a driveway. So you can see on the navigation line here that it does see this fence, but it's not, it doesn't have a model for it to display it on the screen. So I'm going to turn us around. Okay, so we're set to go. We should be taking a left. And it looks like it knows that. Last time it actually went right. Okay, and it looked like it was just going to run right out in front of that car. So as you can see, there's bushes to the left. The car cannot see if there's traffic coming. And it did not appear to be creeping. It was going at a pretty fast speed there, or accelerating at a pretty high rate. We'll try it again. So it's not giving me the option to engage anymore. It looks like I'm just gonna have to take over here. All right, so we should be going left at this light. Need to get into the turn lane, and we are going a little fast. Taking the turn pretty fast too, but pretty good turn. It's playing around with the brights a lot here. Oh, that's my bad. All those parked cars have me pretty tight on the steering wheel. And again, I can't see where we are. Navigate to Olympia Mark 2.5. Okay, so last time it stopped in this turn. Came to a complete stop. This time is better. It slowed down a little more than a human would, but yeah, a lot better than coming to a complete stop. Cutting the corner on this turn. That was a great turn. Getting uncomfortably close to these parked cars. And we should be getting in the left turn lane here, which we are. Can't see where we're going again, as usual. Maybe if I do that, it'll help. All right, and hey, we stayed in our lane this time. So last time it straddled the lane line here when it was doing that turn, and then corrected into the left lane. We are rolling slowly, and it's confused about which lane to go into again. Went into both of them, but this time we crossed over it a little bit with our front right wheel, but that was it. Major improvement. Yeah, that didn't help. Okay, so we're taking a left at this light. There's the green, and we're going. There is absolutely nobody around. And that was a perfect turn. We're going to be taking a right up here. Too close to the curb there. And last time it got too close to this curb as well, and it is still doing that. So I had to take over there again. Speed bump here. These are pretty big speed bumps. Not the kind you want to play around with. We'll see if it sees this one. It's definitely not slowing enough. But as you can see there, it does see that there's a speed bump, which kind of just begs the question even more why it didn't slow down for it. Maybe it didn't see it in time. I wasn't looking at the screen. And then this is our destination marker, so I'm just gonna take it out and pull over here so that it'll go the way we want. We have a sign blocking visibility to the left side. We're gonna have to creep quite a ways to see. Now it should be able to see, and it's going. And that was great. That was really great. It crept right up to where it could see from the B pillar and then proceeded. So it's doing the same lane change to the right that it did last time, which we do not need to do and is actually counterproductive because we're going to need to turn left past the light up here. All we're going to be doing by getting in the right lane is making it harder for ourselves and blocking people who want to turn right at the light. So we're turning the brights on here, which is definitely not necessary. Very well lit area. So now we're changing back to the left. Those are both good lane changes in the mechanics of it, if not in the decision making. So up here is going to be our left turn. Putting the blinker on maybe a little bit early. I don't know. It's okay. And that was a great turn. Navigate to Olympia Mark IV. Okay, so we need to creep a bit for it to see here, and it should be able to see now, and it's going. And we are cutting this left turn a lot. Coming into the roundabout, it once again wants to go right over the lower lip of that roundabout. Navigate to Olympia Mark 4.5. Cutting the corner on that turn again. Pretty abrupt turn of the wheel for that one. That one was fine. And coming up on the hardest of our roundabouts here, navigate to Olympia Mark 5. Oh, we got a connection error. Look at all these cars. It's a little confused. Thinks there's like 2 semis over here. No, it has no idea what's over there. Navigate to Olympia Mark 5. There we go. So there's very little room on the opposite side of this. It doesn't appear to be seeing the roundabout at all. It's not picturing anything here. Roundabout's right here. Nothing on the screen. It was just going to do like a normal left turn there. Yeah, pretty sure that's worse than
The other
before.
side of it. Yeah, it's just going pretty much straight into it.
That said, this roundabout sucks, but it does exist. Okay, roundabout number 2, going straight. And okay, oh no, it was okay. Going straight through this one. It did slow down, that's good. It came to a complete stop though, which is bad. And it's gonna hit the curb. I accidentally knocked it out at the end there, but it got too close to the curb. I mean, like, uncomfortably close to the curb. But it did make it, which is improvement over last time, because last time it was definitely going to hit the curb. All right, looking pretty good on the screen for this one. Now we're getting a little close to the lip. Yep, a little too close to the lip. Was able to finish it at least. Oh, my bad. Okay, so it's very uncertain about how to go around here. And it abandoned the turn. So that's a fail. All right, we're past the roundabout now. Not sure. The nav is not updated. There we go. Now it's on the correct path. Going pretty fast through here as before, a little faster than I would. Last time it was too far to the left of the road, and it is doing that again. We're right almost in the center, which would be blocking traffic coming the other way if there were any. Good on the turn though. Did have to creep quite a lot for that one, but that was appropriate. So I can't see very well to the right. There's and it got a little too close to the curb there for my comfort. Navigate to Olympia End. Okay, so it had a lot of trouble with this one last time. It's coming into it slower, which is good. It's not steering far enough to the right at the start, and it abandoned it. It just went straight. And we're going all the way around it, or we're going to try to, and okay. So our back wheel went over the lip of it, and we were about to run into the curb as well. So we got another speed bump here, and it is seeing it on the screen there. So we've turned around, now coming at the roundabout from the opposite direction as before. We're just going to be doing a right this time, which I hope it can handle. And yes, that was perfect. And here is our last roundabout, going straight. And tough call. It got really close to the curb at the very end, but otherwise it was good. That said, it should not be coming that close to curbs, especially when there was no difficulty in steering for that part. Okay, so we got clear visibility to both sides here. No need to creep, but it is creeping anyway. Turn was a tad bit wide, but mostly good. And here is our blind corner. Last time it basically moseyed out into the middle, and it did the same again, and now it's stopping. And here we have very low visibility, and interesting. So as you can see, well, you can't really see, but let me back up here. So this is where the stop is. We got bushes to the left that are blocking big time. We got bushes to the right that are blocking big time. We need to be like here, and there's a car parked there as usual. So we can see to this side, but basically you need to be like halfway into the road to be able to see if there's somebody coming from that side. So I'm gonna try that again. Because I don't know if it was just going to where it needed to be to see the cross traffic. If so, that's a new behavior that I've never seen it do before. Normally it just creeps out slowly. But it kind of seemed like it was just going way past the stop sign there. Yeah, it's just going past the stop sign. It is stopping out here. I don't know, I think it pretty much handled that as well as it can. Now that said, I don't think it, given that the cameras are in the B pillar, I don't think that it will ever be able to handle that turn well if there is traffic coming. It will just not see it in time. Because it just physically can't with where the cameras are.
So some quick notes on the score for this drive. As you can see, 10.4 is on the left, 10.3 is on the right, so we can compare. Despite a whole lot of changes, total issues were about the same. We had some more this time. Interventions and disengagements were roughly the same as well, and improvements and regressions were pretty close. However, what I'm most concerned about are the major issues, because those are the ones that really, really need to be fixed before robotaxis can be a thing. These are things that either prevent us from getting to our destination, like if it refuses to make a turn or it just disengages, or things that make it not safe enough to be on the road, which meaning overall it's less safe than the average human driver. And in 10.4, we had an uptick in those major issues, largely because of some new issues like the random disengagement at the beginning and navigate on autopilot turning off at nighttime. There was also the regression on the blocked road where it now tries to run into it instead of bypassing it. And I think in a couple of places, curb issues got upgraded from moderate to major because it was definitely going to hit. But this is why I prefer tracking major issues to tracking interventions, disengagements, disengagements and that sort of thing. Because as you can see, we can't really tell from the interventions and disengagements that there was any significant difference this update, but there was. The improvements and regressions was kind of funny because at the beginning, like, we were piling up regressions really quickly, and it was looking really, really bad. And then toward the end, the opposite happened, and we kind of got a lot of improvements in a short period of time. I felt like I was cheering for a sports team, like, they were going to make a comeback. They almost made a comeback, but regressions pulled it out in the end. But the reason I'd say that this update was more of a regression is because of that uptick in major issues more than just the improvements versus regression score here, because those scores are just tracking incidents. So, for example, the new creeping issue, where it's creeping more than it should be, that's not a big issue, but it happened a lot of times. So that really increased our regression score. But that's why we also track the issues themselves. So let's move on to our next slide. So as you can see, we only had regression on 4 issues. 2 of those were new, the random disengagement and the failing at nighttime. Then there was the running into the barrier and performing worse on the blind turn at the very end, where it basically just ran right through. On the other hand, we actually had improvements on a lot of issues. So turning the wrong direction, coming out of that unmapped road into the garden center, pathing is correctly going to the left now. The phantom slowdowns on the highway, they're gone. It's no longer straddling the lanes on those left turns onto the main road. No longer any wide turns. Sounds funny, but we've got less destructive failures on the roundabouts because now instead of trying to go all the way around on like third exits and running into the curb, it is just abandoning it and taking an earlier exit. That's still a big problem because there's not always going to be an easy way to avoid a roundabout, but it's better than crashing. And the navigation and pathing are updating much faster, which will really cut down on missing turns and doing abrupt turns when the pathing changes like halfway past a road. It's not failing to enter turn lanes as often, and not that it really matters to FSD, but it's now showing us speed bumps on the screen. Then if you just want to see all the issues that we're having on this drive, I've got that too. Unfortunately, a couple of our new issues are at the top of that list because disengaging and navigate on autopilot failing mean that it just cannot get to its destination on its own. Curbs, I would say, are the most frequent issue in the major category. Roundabouts, of course, also pretty common on this drive in particular, basically because I artificially made them so. But anyway, 4 regressions on here compared to 3 improvements. As for moderate, having the high beams on when they are blinding other drivers is an issue that we don't talk much about, but it is very common and potentially dangerous. Speed bumps, also a pretty common issue, and some of the ones like you saw in the video are basically designed to destroy your vehicle and will do so at the speeds that FSD is currently set to go over them, so that needs to change. Then we had the unfortunate regression in drifting to the middle of the lane in that parking lot area. We also had trouble passing those pedestrians, though I don't know if that's a regression or not, because we didn't have that scenario before. Likewise with the stopping for the car that almost had its nose in the lane. But we did have improvements in the navigation updates, entering turn lanes to turn, and then we had a lot of regressions in this category. The stop in the middle of the turn as we were getting onto the on-ramp, the GPS and map being way off at the start, which I'm sure will cause a lot of problems that we haven't seen yet, depending on where it happens. We had multiple regressions in turn pathing. One was it trying to do the 45-degree turn in Elma, and another very frequent one was cutting the corners on turns, which is an issue that was in 10.2 and went away in 10.3 and has now returned, and will likely continue to ping pong back and forth over many iterations. And then we had that weird incident where the path was going straight even though the navigation had us turning left, and then right as we were passing the turn, the pathing decided to agree with the navigation and made for an abrupt turn, and the wanting to stay in the fast lane on the highway. And then minor issues, we had a lot of unnecessary creeping, which is going to annoy the heck out of people behind us. And the improper turn speed down there at the bottom was about the right turn at the stoplight in Elma, where it reduced speed far too much. Overall, there was a lot of changes in 10.4, and I think the weirdest part of it was how much different our first and second drives to Olympia were. Like, the map issue only happened in the second drive. We didn't have the visibility degradation issue almost at all in the second drive when it was pretty much constant on the highway in the first. There's differences in handling the turn lanes, in handling the turn at the off-ramp, the construction zone in Elma, whether it thinks that me using my phone as a camera is a danger to everyone. Like, a whole lot of things were very different. It's almost like there was a shadow update halfway in between, but I certainly didn't see any updates in the app or in the car. So I really don't know what's up with that. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. Hope it actually gets out before 10.5 arrives. I still don't have it. FSD Beta Boys just in time editing. If you haven't heard, they started rolling out the updates in a more gradual manner after the bugs that happened in 10.3. So now it goes out to Tesla staff and then to like 1,000 beta testers at a time. I don't know. It seems to take a few days to get to everybody now. And I seem to be pretty close to the end of the list. And for any of you that are stockholders, hope that nobody got too injured by Elon's tweets. Always has been a volatile stock, and it seems it always will. Take care, everybody. See you next time.